Hi, welcome to the Level Up Your Listening channel. I'm really happy you're here. If you're learning English and you feel nervous when it's time to speak, you're not alone. Today, I'm going to help you lose that fear step by step with real stories and simple tips. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's start this journey together. Chapter 1. You're not alone. Everyone feels nervous. Let me tell you something important. Being afraid to speak English is completely normal. Yes, really. Everyone feels nervous when speaking a new language, especially at the beginning. Even confident people. Even native speakers feel nervous sometimes when they speak in a second language. So if you feel shy, scared, or worried about making mistakes, you are not alone. I remember the first time I tried to speak English in public. I was at a small cafe, and I wanted a cup of tea. I looked at the menu, but suddenly my hands started shaking. I knew the word tea, but my brain went blank. I looked at the person behind the counter and said, "Tea, me, please?" It wasn't a full sentence, and it wasn't perfect, but the person smiled. They said, "You want tea?" I smiled and nodded. That small moment wasn't perfect, but it gave me something powerful. It gave me a little bit of confidence. I spoke, and the world didn't end. Nobody laughed at me, and I got my tea. So why do we feel so nervous? Well, there are a few common reasons. We think, I don't want people to laugh at me, or I don't know enough words, or my accent is bad, or what if I make a mistake? Maybe you've thought these things too. But here's the truth. Most people are not laughing at you. In fact, many people are impressed that you're even trying to speak English. They understand. They want to help. And remember, most of them don't speak your language, so you're already doing something they can't. When you feel nervous, your brain is trying to protect you. It wants to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to feel embarrassed. But sometimes the brain protects you too much. It creates fear that stops you from trying. That fear is what we want to break. Because learning a language means stepping outside your comfort zone. It means doing something new and sometimes uncomfortable. But that's okay. Growth only happens when we do something scary. You don't need perfect English to speak. You don't need perfect grammar or the right accent to connect with people. Think about this. Babies make mistakes all the time when they speak. Tourists ask questions in broken English. And friends with strong accents still tell beautiful stories. And what do? We listen. We smile. We understand. People care more about your message than your mistakes. So, what can you do today to feel a little less afraid? Start simple. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to be brave. Look in the mirror and say one sentence in English. Something like, I am learning, or I want to speak English. Say it, even if it feels strange. Say it anyway. Watch a short video in English and repeat. Just one sentence out loud. It doesn't matter if your pronunciation isn't perfect. Just speak. You can also write one short sentence about how you feel. For example, I feel shy, but I want to improve. That one line is progress. And here's something beautiful to remember. If you are reading this right now, you are already doing more than you think. Reading this chapter? That's English. Understanding the message? That's English. Thinking about your progress? That's courage. You are already learning. You are already growing. You are already on your way. So the next time you feel your heart beat fast, before you speak, the next time you feel nervous, smile and speak anyway. That's how it begins. That's how you grow. You are not alone. We are all on this journey together. Chapter 2. Why are you afraid to speak? Let's talk honestly for a moment. You want to speak English. You try. You know some words. You understand some things. But when it's time to actually speak, something stops you. You freeze. Your mind goes blank. Your heart beats fast. And suddenly, you say nothing. Why does this happen? Well, there's not just one reason. There are many, and all of them are very human. You're not weak. You're not bad at English. You're just experiencing something real, something emotional. And that's okay. One big reason is fear of judgment. You worry. What will people think of me? Maybe they will laugh. Maybe they will correct me. Maybe they will think I'm not smart. But let me ask you, have you ever judged someone who is trying to speak your language? Have you laughed at a tourist who asked for directions in broken words? Probably not. You probably smiled. You probably helped. Most people do the same. They are not your enemy. They want to understand you. They want you to succeed. Another reason is perfectionism. You want to say it exactly right. You think, if it's not perfect, I should stay quiet. But that's not how language works. Children make mistakes every day. Adults too. Native speakers forget words, say things wrong, or change their minds mid-sentence. Perfection is not the goal. Communication is. Some people are afraid because of past experiences. Maybe one day you tried to speak and someone laughed. Maybe a teacher corrected you in front of the whole class. Maybe you said something wrong and felt embarrassed. I understand. I've been there too. But please remember, that moment is in the past. It's gone. It doesn't define you. It was just one moment, one step on a much bigger path. You may also feel afraid because of pressure. You feel like you must speak fast, or use fancy words, or sound like a native speaker. But English is not a race. You don't need to. Speak like an actor. You don't need to know every word. You just need to speak as you, slowly, clearly, and honestly. And finally, one quiet reason we don't talk about much. You might be afraid because you care. Yes, you care deeply about learning this language. You want to do well. You want to be understood. And that care makes you nervous. But that's not a weakness. That's a sign of your heart. That's a sign of your commitment. It means English matters to you. And that's beautiful. So what's the next step? It's simple but powerful. Start noticing your fear instead of running from it. When you feel nervous, say to yourself, I am nervous. Because I care? I feel scared, but I will speak anyway. Just naming your fear can reduce it. Just facing it can make it smaller. And the more you speak, even just a little, the less power fear will have. You don't need to fight it. You just need to move forward with it. Fear is like a shadow. It follows you, but it can't stop you. You can walk anyway. You can speak anyway. And each time you do, your fear gets quieter, and your voice gets stronger. So the next time you feel afraid, take a deep breath, smile, and say something simple. Even one word is a win. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. And you are. Chapter 3. Your first words matter, but not for perfection. When people begin learning English, they often think they need to wait before speaking. They want to study more, learn more vocabulary, memorize grammar rules, and only then, maybe, start using their voice. But that's not how real language learning works. Your first words are not about being perfect or ready. They are about starting. And starting is the most important step. Your first words in English probably won't be complex or advanced. They might be simple phrases like, "My name is Joe," or "This is my phone," or "I like music." And that's exactly how it should be. These basic sentences are not something to feel embarrassed about. In fact, they are the foundation of your English. They are the first bricks you place on the road toward fluency. There is something powerful about speaking out loud for the first time. Maybe your voice feels strange. Maybe you speak slowly. Maybe you hesitate. But the moment the words leave your mouth, you begin to feel a small shift. You are no longer just a learner. You are a speaker. Even if it's just one sentence, that action is bigger than it seems. Many learners wait for the right moment. They tell themselves they will speak when they are better, when they know more, when they feel ready. But the truth is, that moment may never come unless they choose to start now. Speaking is not the result of fluency. It is the path to fluency. The earlier you begin, the sooner you grow. You don't need to prepare a perfect sentence. You don't need to speak about complicated topics. Just talk about your real life. Look around your home and say what you see. This is a table. I have a cup. The window is open. These sentences are simple, but they are meaningful because they come from your world. They are honest. They are real. One man once shared his story. He had studied English for months, but never spoke. He felt too shy, too afraid. One day, he looked in the mirror and said to himself, "This is my face." Then he said, "My eyes are brown." He laughed, but he also felt proud. That was the first day he truly used his English. Not with perfect grammar, not with confidence, but with truth. From that moment, everything changed. He was no longer silent. This is how it begins for many people. Not with long speeches, but with short, true sentences. You don't need to talk about big ideas. You just need to describe your day, your feelings, your environment. Say things like, "I feel tired today," or "It's sunny outside," or "I want to speak more English." These are not just exercises, they are steps. And every step you take brings you closer to the speaker you want to become. The most important thing is not to impress anyone. You're not performing. You're not in a classroom taking a test. You are speaking for yourself, for your growth, for your future. And your voice, no matter how quiet or uncertain, matters. The first words are often the hardest, but after you say them, the second ones are easier. And the third, even easier than that. You begin walking, and soon you begin running. But it all starts with one sentence. One small, brave moment. You don't need to speak fast. You don't need to speak a lot. You just need to speak something. Today. Because once you start, something inside you changes. You stop waiting. You stop hiding. And you begin. So don't wait for the perfect time. Say something today. Say it slowly. Say it proudly. And say it again tomorrow. That's how you become a speaker. Chapter 4. Speaking Alone, the Best Secret Tool. One of the best ways to lose your fear of speaking English doesn't require a teacher, a partner, or even a classroom. It doesn't need an app or a tutor. It only needs one thing, you. Yes, it may sound strange at first, but speaking English alone, just with yourself, is one of the most powerful tools you can use. And the best part? You can start right now. You don't need anything but a few quiet minutes and your voice. When most people think about speaking practice, they imagine conversations. And conversations are wonderful, but not always possible. Maybe no one around you speaks English. Maybe you're afraid to speak to others just yet. Maybe your schedule is busy. That's okay. Speaking alone is your practice ground. It's your safe space, and it can change everything. Think about this. Babies learn language by repeating what they hear. They say words over and over again, often by themselves, long before they ever have a real conversation. Why? Because repetition builds confidence. It helps your mouth and brain get comfortable with the sounds. It gives you time to think. And most importantly, it removes the pressure. When you speak alone, there's no fear of judgment. No one is watching you. You can speak slowly. You can make mistakes. You can even laugh at yourself. You can try again and again until the sentence feels right in your mouth. You might start by describing your day. Wake up in the morning and say, "Good morning. I am getting out of bed. I am brushing my teeth." Look at objects and say their names. This is a chair. This is my notebook. I have a glass of water. These small moments are not small at all. They are your training ground. You can also speak your thoughts. If you're walking outside, you can say softly to yourself, "The sky is blue. The weather is nice today. I am walking to the store." It might feel funny at first, but soon it will feel natural. You are teaching your brain to think and speak in English. Another great way to practice is to repeat what you hear. Watch a short video, pause after one sentence, and say it out loud. Try to match the tone. Try to feel the rhythm. Even if you don't say it perfectly, you are building a strong habit. You're training your brain and mouth to work together. Some people practice in front of a mirror. They look at themselves and say simple things. "Hi, my name is Carlos. I am learning English. I want to speak better." Looking at your own face while speaking can build confidence. It's like having a mini conversation with yourself. You can also pretend to speak to someone. You can create fake conversations in your head. For example, pretend you are in a restaurant. Say, "Hello, I would like a coffee, please." Then play the waiter in your mind. "Sure. Anything else?" You answer, "No, thank you." This is called a simulation, and it's a fun and useful way to prepare for real life. The more you do this, the more confident you will become. Slowly, you'll begin to feel more comfortable speaking in front of others because you've already practiced. You've already said those words before. Alone doesn't mean less. In fact, it's the secret practice space of many successful learners. You can do this in the morning, while cooking, while driving, or before bed. Just 1 or 2 minutes a day can make a big difference. The key is not to be perfect. The key is to be active, to speak, to try, to get used to the sound of your own English voice. You are your first and best conversation partner. Don't wait for someone to speak with. Start now. With yourself, out loud, even quietly, even slowly, even imperfectly. Because every word you speak, even alone, brings you one step closer to the speaker you want to become. Chapter 5. What to say when you don't know what to say. One of the scariest moments for an English learner is when someone speaks to you and you don't know how to respond. Your mind goes blank. You feel stuck. You think, what do I say now? This fear is very common. It happens to almost everyone at some point. But there's good news. You don't need perfect English or a big vocabulary to handle these moments. You just need a few simple strategies and a calm, confident attitude. The first thing to remember is this: it's okay not to know everything. Even native speakers sometimes forget words, pause to think, or ask for clarification. You are allowed to do the same. In fact, asking for help or more time is a normal and smart part of communication. Let's say someone speaks to you quickly and you didn't understand. You don't need to panic. You can simply say, "Sorry, can you say that again? Can you speak more slowly, please? I don't understand. Can you explain?" These phrases are short, polite, and powerful. They give you space to breathe. They show that you want to understand. Most people will be happy to repeat or explain if you ask kindly. Sometimes you understand part of what someone says, but you don't know how to answer well. In that case, don't freeze. Use what you know. Give a simple answer, even if it's not perfect. For example, someone asks, "What do you like to do in your free time?" You might think, how do I say that I enjoy walking in nature and listening to music and sometimes writing poetry? That's a lot, but you don't have to say all of it. You can simply reply, "I like music. I like walking." That's enough. You've answered the question. You've communicated. And you can improve that answer later. You can also buy time with simple phrases like, "Let me think. That's a good question. I'm not sure how to say this." These expressions help you stay calm and show that you're still in the conversation. They're like bridges that keep you connected while your brain catches up. Another great tool is turning the focus away from yourself. If you don't know how to continue talking, you can ask a question back. For example, if someone says, "I love movies," and you don't know how to talk about movies, just say, "Oh, really? What kind of movies do you like?" Now they're speaking again, and you have time to listen, learn, and prepare your next words. Also, don't be afraid to use body language. A smile, a nod, a friendly expression. These are all part of communication. Even if your words are simple, your attitude can say a lot. People understand when you're trying. They appreciate the effort more than the grammar. And here's something important. You don't need to say something smart. You don't need to be funny or interesting or clever. You just need to be present and engaged. You can say something as simple as, "That's nice," or "Wow, really?" These short reactions keep the conversation going. They show that you're listening. They buy you time. And they are completely natural, even in fluent conversations. Over time, your vocabulary will grow. Your confidence will grow. Your answers will grow. But even now, even at the beginning, you can participate. You can respond. You can communicate. The key is not to fear silence. Don't panic when you don't have the words. You can always ask. You can always simplify. You can always return to the basics. And the truth is, most conversations are not about big, complicated ideas. Most conversations are small and friendly. About food, the weather, weekend plans, your favorite movie. And for those topics, your English, even if simple, is already enough. So the next time you don't know what to say, don't freeze. Don't hide. Just breathe. Say something small. Ask a question. Use your face, your tone, your hands. You are more capable than you think. And most of all, keep speaking, because every time you stay in the conversation, even for one more sentence, you win. Chapter 6. Real Stories of Fear and How People Got Over It. This chapter shares true stories of people who were afraid to speak English, but found ways to keep going. Daniel, from Brazil, could read and write English, but he got very nervous when someone spoke to him. One day, a tourist asked him a question at the airport, and Daniel was too scared to answer. After that, he started talking to himself in the mirror every day. Slowly, he became more confident. Farah, from Egypt, moved to Canada. She spoke good English, but didn't like her accent. She was afraid people would laugh. But one day, her boss asked her to speak in a meeting. She was nervous, but she said one sentence. Nobody laughed. They liked what she said. That small moment gave her the courage to speak more. Ahmed, from Morocco, loved English movies, but never spoke in class. He thought his grammar and pronunciation were bad. One day, his teacher asked everyone to talk for 1 minute about food. Ahmed almost didn't come to school, but he did. He spoke a few sentences. His classmates liked it. That helped him believe in himself and try more each week. All these people were afraid, but they spoke anyway. That's how they started to feel brave. Action creates confidence. Chapter 7. Your challenge. Speak, smile, repeat. Now it's your turn to be brave. Speak in English for 1 minute, out loud. No script, no pressure. You can talk about your room, your favorite food, how you feel. Even just say, "I don't know what to say," and talk about that. The only rule, don't stop for 1 minute. It's okay if you make mistakes. It's okay if you speak slowly. Just speak, then tomorrow, do it again. 1 minute today, 1 minute tomorrow. That's how you grow. Just like brushing your teeth or drinking water, your voice needs practice too. Say this to yourself after you try. I spoke for 1 minute today. Be proud of that. And remember, your English is not in a book. It's in your voice. So use it. Speak it. Make it yours. If this journey helped you, even just a little, Share it with someone else who's learning English. Maybe they feel the same fear. Maybe they're waiting for the perfect moment to speak. You can be the reason they start today. And if you're ready to keep practicing, keep growing, and keep speaking, I'll be here to walk with you, one word at a time. Because your English doesn't live in a book. It lives in your voice, so speak it, use it, make it yours. See you in the next step of your journey.